So in this video, I'm going to share the 3 steps I took to finally maintain inbox zero. It's easy to get there, but it's actually pretty hard to keep it there. And I'll be honest, I failed at inbox zero many times before, but make sure to stick around because not only am I going to share the 3 simple steps you can start today, but also the tiniest habit that keeps me aiming for inbox zero every day. And I'll also share a guide that can help you get there. Okay, so let's dive right in. The first step is bulk archive, and you want to select all your emails in your inbox and you want to archive it all. Now you won't lose any emails that you archive. You can always search for it and basically your inbox is at 0. That's gonna stay like that at least for now. Now, depending on how big your inbox is, this might take a while to process, but it'll go down pretty quick. You might feel a little bit panicky, but you know what? That's a normal feeling. It will pass. Now, I failed at this before because I used to think that I needed to perfectly organize my inbox, and it would probably have taken a lot of time and been a little too complex to maintain. Now, bulk archiving is definitely the way to go. Gets you started fast, and it's super easy. So the second step is you want to turn off all your email notifications. And you might be wondering, how does turning off email notifications help with inbox zero? Well, if you're watching this video, you're probably drowning in emails like I was, and I'll start. I had over 24,000 emails in my inbox, and it was growing fast. How about you? Leave a comment and let me know how many emails are sitting in your inbox. And fun fact, we average about 121 emails a day. That's how many emails that potentially comes into our inbox. That's a lot of emails to deal with, and it's also a lot of notifications. So notifications are a distraction. We need to take back our time and focus and build a system that we control versus it controlling us. So if you don't have an email notification system that's working for you, which most of us don't, make sure to turn them all off for now. And doing this will help with the next step. The next step is 2 parts. It involves creating 2 routines that will be the foundation of your inbox zero system. The first part is triaging. You're basically sorting, you're figuring out what needs to be worked on, what you need to keep, what you need to read. Just like taking mail out of your physical mailbox, and as you're going through and sifting through the junk so that you can get to the pile that actually matters. Here are my triage steps that I use to get started. If it can take less than a minute to respond, then I will reply immediately. If it takes longer than a minute, then I will create a task to work on it later. If I don't need this email, then I'm going to go ahead and delete it. If it's a subscription that I no longer need, then I'll unsubscribe and then delete that mail. If I decide to keep this subscription and want to review those emails in bulk, then I'll create a rule so I can look at it at a later time. If it's a specific email that I want to read later, not something I have to respond to, and reading it is not urgent, then I'm going to mark it as read later. And if I want to keep it for future reference, then I'm going to go ahead and archive it. So this sounds simple enough, but in practice, it's actually quite difficult. And that's why I had 24,000 emails in my inbox. So why do this now? Well, we are so used to being distracted and disorganized, we don't even realize what it's costing us. Email is an essential tool that we all use in our daily lives. So after I was laid off more than 18 months ago, I was focusing on building my consulting and coaching businesses. And I realized how I was just letting email take up a lot of mental energy and a lot of time, and both of which I should have been using to build up my business instead of basically being trapped in email hell. Here's why turning off those notifications matter. Instead of checking email when the notification goes off, which we all do, the goal is that you set aside time for these 2 routines. And I'm going to get to the second one in a moment. You want to set aside time to intentionally work on triaging, making sure to do those actions to triage that email. This will give you the best chance at success at inbox zero. And we're not done yet. So the second routine is working on those emails that need responding to. You triage your email, inbox is at 0, but you need to get back to those email tasks that required more than a minute to complete. I've set aside time to work on these tasks twice a day. I do it once mid-morning and then the other mid-afternoon. And this is where your daily schedule and how you do your work will determine how to tackle these. But the key here is that you need to focus on these tasks to complete them and then move them off of your task list. Now, this is the same for triaging and making time for only triaging. You want to do them and complete it. You don't want to try and triage and work on those tasks at the same time. This is where you'll get distracted and then your emails just end up piling up again. These two routines you need to iterate on every day. You need to figure out what works for you. And if you find yourself getting distracted while you're trying to focus on these things, that's totally normal and that's okay. You want to note somewhere what's going on, what's happening, what are you thinking about, and then just try to get back to the task at hand. And whether it's replying to those emails or triaging, the goal is to complete these routines entirely. Every time, every day. I just shared the foundations of getting to inbox zero, but let me share the tiny habit that I think keeps me doing this over and over again and might help you. So I'm a tiny habits coach, and one of the ingredients in a tiny habit is celebrating after you do that action that you wanted to do. So in this case, this is how my habit goes. After I triage my last email, I will pause and read the no new mail message that's on my screen and smile. And while I'm smiling, I'm going to be thinking about how good it feels doing something for me and taking my time back and taking back my mental space. It doesn't take a lot of time, and I make sure I do that celebratory action. That positive feeling at the end keeps me coming back. But it's not that easy. My exact system might not work for you, so make sure to download my Inbox Zero guide. You'll find the link in the description. I jotted down what I've shared here, and I've also included some other details in triaging and things that you might need to think about. I've also added some tips on how you can create a system that works for you. So once you get your inbox to zero and you can keep it there, you'll notice something truly amazing, and you're going to find that you're going to have more time for the things that really matter. So next, I'm going to be sharing more on digital decluttering to help you free up more time. So stick around for that and make sure to give Inbox Zero a try, and I'll see you in the next one.